can either not make the movie or you can change that location. So then you're like, well, so when you're in a room on a computer, it can be anything. The world is your oyster. But when you have to practically go make it, that all goes out the window. So I think what you have in your head is pure. There are certain things you're like, oh, that's how I saw it, and that's great. But I don't think there's any. I don't know. I like the process of where the movie takes you through writing, the pre-production and casting and working with the actors, and then the mess of what it's like to make a movie where, like Jeff's saying, everything goes wrong because everything usually does go wrong. There's not enough time. There's not enough money, and then you're in the edit. It's like it's a process. So it sort of tells you what it wants to be. At least that's been my experience. A movie sort of comes at you and says, actually, I'm more of this than what maybe you thought I was. So similar to what I hear raising and rearing children is like.
Yeah, I say it's never the movie. It's got the essence of the movie you set out to make, but there is no way, unless you're God, to make something that you envision so perfectly. But another interesting thing, because we're all, I'm assuming, guilty of this, we notice things, we're so tied into that movie, and we've been living with it for like a year between writing it, shooting it, editing it, mixing it, color grading it. And we know every single little frame of that movie, that things stick out for us that drive us crazy that no one's ever going to notice. So like you'll cut out a minute of your movie and someone will watch it and they wouldn't notice anything was different. And you're like, what do you mean? Like this whole scene is so much better. So we're really sensitive to stuff that you guys maybe won't be as sensitive to. So it might be a little bit overstated what we're saying, but absolutely the movie that you envision is not what you see. It's the second you walk on set, you're working with anywhere between 12 and hundreds of people. So you have all these people doing their jobs, trying to get your vision, and some of us maybe are not the best at articulating every single little piece, but they get the general idea of what you're going for, but there's play, an interplay between you and that person. And I'd say I don't know what percentage, maybe it's 30% of being a director is just having an opinion, where if someone just brings you like, do you want this shirt, do you want that shirt, do you want this shirt, like you didn't have any of that stuff pictured, it's more just like you're making a choice in the moment. And so there's a more advanced thing that occurs than what your general idea is when you first start out making it. And all those little details are so much more than your brain can kind of like handle, that I think it's almost impossible to envision that. And I think the way I've been working is kind of giving into that energy and knowing that I don't have absolute control over reality, so that things are going to kind of go haywire, and to kind of live in that and sort of play with it and let those accidents and mistakes and let that confusion, just embrace it, because it's like you're trying to fight something you never can fight. You can fight for what you want and how you want it to be, but you got to realize it's not the finished product. It's never going to be what you envision. It's going to be something that you made choices to get there.
Having gone through film school, that's like kind of what was my takeaway of seeing student films come to life. And I had to DP on a director's film, and he was so precious about his vision. He thought that he'd written this 15-minute film, and he just knew that it was going to be just genius, and every word was so beautiful, and every idea he had was incredible, and he didn't listen to anybody else. And
it was too. It was.
Yeah, and it's honestly the worst movie I've made ever seen.
Oh, I thought
it's horrible. Oh. And part of that is because he had all these talented people on set that he wasn't listening to, and wasn't allowing their ideas to come in, and so you're seeing this, and he was so frustrated the whole time he was shooting. He's just like, this is wrong, and you're not doing it right, and that's not how I saw it in my head, and all this stuff. And it's just must have been a miserable experience for him. It was a miserable experience for everyone working on the film. The film was bad, and I'm glad I had that experience, even though I hated it going through it at the time, because I was just like, why, this should be so fun. It can be such a fun process if you stay open to, if you like people, like working with other people, and just stay open to, catching lightning in a bottle. Because like we were saying before, if you're on your phone, you're distracted, you're not seeing all the amazing stuff that's happening all around you. And the same thing on set, you could be so focused on getting this thing exactly right, and there might be an amazing thing happening over here that you're not paying attention to, and that you're going to miss. And so, yeah.
Oh, that being said, though, you do constantly have to fight for your vision. It's not like the kind of thing where you're like, you have to be really fast and you're like, well, accidents are going to happen, let's just see what this movie's going to be. Like, you really, some people are constantly being labeled assholes as directors, and they are, But sometimes they're just people that are really like protecting their vision, and I think there is a thin line between being protective and being precious. And I think, you know, everyone has to sort of navigate that and figure it out, and probably everyone's guilty of doing one or the other, but no one is going to advocate for the movie more than you are, and everyone that is there, maybe there's a couple people, like maybe your DP, maybe your producer, some of the actors, are there because they really believe you in your vision. Then there's a bunch of people that are just like, got a job, and like they're there and they check out, and like if you go over, they're not going to go over for you because of union rules, and so you're negotiating that stuff as well, so you do have to figure out a way to fight for your vision and not just be really passive to it, I have to say.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people confuse like, and thank you for saying that, but if the idea doesn't come from you, it's somehow not a valid idea. And I think as a director, you're the curator of all the ideas. You get to decide what goes in the finished film, ideally. And so just because someone else has a better idea than what your idea was on paper, you think if you like it better, and you think it's a better idea, use it. You're going to get the credit for it anyway, probably, you know. So you're only hurting yourself by not going with that. But yeah,
the best idea wins.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, important to not be rigidly adherent to your vision, but at the same time you have to have that vision in mind at all times so you can make those choices. And when you are presented with, like, you know, that amazing thing that's happening over there, you just gotta make sure that's still gonna fit with the thing you had in mind to begin with. It is rapidly changing and expanding and mutating, but still needs to be that thing that you were setting out to make so that you don't wind up with a film that you hate. And the interesting thing I find with all of my movies, especially as time goes by and I get further away from them, is like, it's very clear to me that they're different in a way from what I set out to make, in terms of like the letter of the film is different, but the spirit is exactly the same. And that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning when I'm like looking for a tone at the beginning, and I'm happy to say that, you know, for all the flaws I see in my own work and all the nitpicking I can do, that tone is always there. Like that thing that I was after at the very beginning, I've managed to achieve and bring to the screen, and that is, you know, I think what directing is about is like having that in mind and being able to execute it regardless of what other changes happen along the way.
Yeah, and lookbooks are a fun way to do that. I like look back at my lookbook for the hero, and I was like, I did do that.
It's
I did that.
yeah, I did
like
the
you
same
clearly
thing.
pulled off Ingrid. Like that's
Yeah.
very much the vision.
It's really fun to do that
It
because
is.
it's like sometimes you're just looking at the entire movie in book form, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of knew what I was doing.
It's a fun battle. It's like walking that line and knowing that it's organic and it's gonna kind of take you, but also like what Jeff said, like fighting like for your story, for your characters, and remembering why you want to tell this specific story. There's got to be a really good reason. So you do need to stand up and say, no, we have to get it this way, otherwise it's not going to work. This is a domino effect.
I'm sorry we didn't get to all of your questions, but I think that these guys will be hanging around, so if you want to talk to them, I want to thank David, Matt, Brett, Jeff. You're wonderful filmmakers and so articulate, so thank you for participating in this panel. And
Thank you,
all for
Tim, and
coming.
thanks everybody. Appreciate it, guys.
We should have sunglasses.